Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into some really interesting finance and tech news today. Got some market analysis from experts like PIMCO. We'll take a look into the world of funded trading and some pretty incredible insights into Meta's record-breaking performance.
Sounds like a good mix.
Absolutely. Our goal is to try to connect the dots between these seemingly separate stories. What's driving Meta's stock surge? What does that say about the broader market trends? And can we learn anything from people successfully navigating this world?
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's start with Meta. That stock is on a tear, wouldn't you say?
It really is. As of Friday's close, Meta has its longest winning streak ever, 15 days straight up.
That's the longest since the company went public in 2012.
Hmm.
And especially considering the recent news of layoffs and all the spending on the metaverse. It's a little counterintuitive.
It really is. What do you think is making investors so optimistic, despite, those moves?
The market seems encouraged by the investments that Meta is making in AI and the potential of the metaverse. Some analysts are even saying that, in a way, AI is already a form of the metaverse.
Interesting. Can you tell me more about that? How is AI already a form of the metaverse?
Well, think about how AI is already changing, like enhancing productivity and changing how we interact with technology. Like, for example, the algorithms that Meta uses for advertising. These systems use AI to analyze user data to deliver personalized ads. That personalization is kind of a stepping stone to the metaverse,
Yeah.
where those digital experiences are tailored, to our own preferences and behaviors.
Okay, so that personalization aspect. And AI is also kind of blurring the lines between physical and digital worlds, kind of like what the metaverse wants to do.
Exactly. And while there's definitely, some skepticism about the metaverse and the timeline, Meta's leadership seems to think that 2025 will be a pivotal year.
It's a bold bet, but they have pulled off some amazing things in the past. So we'll see how it plays out. Moving on, let's zoom out and see what's happening on a larger scale.
Good idea. There's some interesting analysis from PIMCO's Aaron Brown I think you'll find interesting. Based on recent data, earnings, she predicts that U.S. equities will outperform other developed markets this year.
Wow, that's a significant prediction. What does that mean for individual investors?
Yeah, it means that if you're looking at investment opportunities, U.S. equities might be a good place to focus. Although Brown does say you need to be selective and focus on specific sectors.
That makes sense. Which sectors is she recommending?
She likes power utility companies, specifically those that are leveraging AI technology. And some consumer cyclical stocks could be interesting as well.
What about sectors to avoid?
Well, she's cautious about industrial and international exposure. There are worries about capital expenditure stalling, which isn't good for industrial companies,
Hmm.
and lower business sentiment globally, which points to higher risk there.
Okay, that makes sense. Thanks for clarifying. It's easy to get caught up in these market trends, but I think it's good to look at some individual success stories too. So let's talk about a trader named Weiss.
Yeah, sometimes, we focus so much on the macro trends that we forget about the individuals navigating those trends.
Exactly. Weiss is a funded trader with Apex Trader Funding, and he's had only 5 losing days out of his last 43.
That kind of consistency is really impressive. It shows that trading is more than just trends. It's about discipline, strategy, and having, the right community. What are your takeaways from his approach?
What stood out to me was Weiss didn't just, get lucky. He spent 4 months testing his strategy
Yeah.
before going live.
He put in the work. His main focus is on trading gold. Symbol is GC. And he uses these charts called Renko bars, and he applies supply and demand to find trades.
I've got to say, I don't know much about Renko bars. What exactly are those, and why would he use them?
Renko bars. They basically filter out the noise that you get on regular charts.
Hmm.
They only form bars when the price moves a certain amount.
Hmm.
So it's like looking at the big price moves, not every little change makes the chart cleaner visually.
Ah, so they're not tied to specific time intervals. It's all about the size of the price move. Interesting. What else was interesting about his approach?
Yeah, he stresses sticking to your strategy
Hmm.
and finding what works for you, which I think is, really important.
Hmm.
And he lives by that, he's always optimizing and encouraging his community to do the same. He believes in continuous learning and adapting.
Yeah. I think that's a great takeaway for, anyone, not just traders. Find a system, test it, refine it, and keep learning and growing.
I agree. And speaking of growth, Weiss is actually using his profits to pursue a lifelong dream. He's opening a bakery in New York called Brookies.
That's amazing, turning passion into reality.
Yeah.
Did he talk about how he became a funded trader?
He did. He talked a lot about, community and connecting with other traders,
Mhm.
learning from their experiences and sharing knowledge. He even live streams his trades, explains what he's thinking in real time, which is pretty amazing.
Wow, that's really putting himself out there. He's basically built his own, ecosystem of support and learning.
He has, and seems to be working really well for him and his community. Speaking of community, we got a question from a listener who was wondering about Meta. All this talk about AI and the metaverse. Do we know how those investments are actually impacting their bottom line?
That's a good question. It's one thing to have a vision, but it's another to, turn it into profits.
Right. Unfortunately, the information we have doesn't really tell us much about the financial performance of, AI and metaverse. It's probably buried in those reports.
So no easy answers. Got it.
Oh, well.
Well, what we do know is that the market seems to believe in Meta's potential. That winning streak is pretty hard to ignore.
It is. And that reminds me of something Erin Brown said. She said she's really interested in power utility companies that are using AI.
Yeah, now I remember. Why is she interested in that?
She believes that AI can really help um, optimize energy use, improve grid efficiency, and even help with integrating renewable energy sources.
I hadn't thought about that. It's not just about, consumer applications of AI. It could really help with some big problems like climate change.
Exactly. It shows that technology can be a force for good and how important it is to stay informed about, how industries are changing.
Hearing all this about Meta, AI, metaverse, and even gold trading really makes you think about how fast things are changing right now.
Yeah. It's pretty remarkable. You have a company like Meta, a giant in social media betting on virtual reality. You have AI transforming everything from energy to finance. And then you have people like Weiss, using all this technology to reach their goals.
Yeah. It's exciting and also a little overwhelming. How do we even begin to, make sense of it all?
That's a great question. I think it comes down to curiosity, continuous learning, and being open to the unknown. We have to be, open to new ideas, willing to experiment, and most importantly, adapt to change. What are you most excited about in this world of tech and finance?
That's a hard question. There's so much. But if I had to pick one thing, I'd say the convergence of AI and data analytics, the potential to, unlock insights that were previously hidden, make better decisions, personalize things, and automate tasks. It's incredible.
I agree. And it's not just the big picture. It's how this technology can help individuals. Think about Weiss again. He's using, data and his technical skills to reach his goals, all while helping others and creating a community.
It's a good reminder that even with these massive shifts, the human element is essential. It's all about connection, collaboration, and the drive to learn and grow.
Yeah, it is inspiring to see people using technology, to reach their goals and help others along the way.
Yeah, the power of community and learning from each other.
Totally. Since we're talking about AI's potential impact, I wanted to circle back to Meta for a sec.
Sure, what are you thinking about?
Well, we talked about, investors liking their AI investments, but we didn't really get into specific examples of AI being used in their products.
You're right. It's good to look at, actual examples of how it's being used.
Exactly. So what are some ways Meta is using AI right now?
One big one is content moderation. Meta's platform, Facebook, Instagram, they have so much content every day, and AI helps filter out, the bad stuff.
That makes sense. I mean, it would be impossible for humans to do all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The algorithms are trained to find patterns and, content that breaks Meta's rules. So it creates a safer experience for users.
And beyond content moderation, what else are they doing?
Targeted advertising. We touched on this before. AI analyzes user data to make sure ads are super personalized, which is a big moneymaker for them.
So it's not just about making things better for the user. It's also about improving their business.
Exactly. They're also using AI to personalize those news feeds, recommending content that, keeps people engaged and coming back.
Wow. AI is all over the platforms.
It really is. And as AI gets better, I think we'll see even more uses for it.
Speaking of new ththings, I wanted to go back to Aaron Brown's prediction about U.S. equities.
Sure. What about it?
She was a bit cautious about industrial and international exposure, right? I'd like to understand why that is.
Good point. Always good to understand the reasoning behind the recommendations.
Exactly. What's making her cautious about those sectors?
Well, one thing is the global economic slowdown. There's less demand
Yeah.
and less investment happening around the world.
And how does that affect industrial companies?
They rely on global supply chains and trade.
Hmm.
So when the economy slows, there's less demand for their stuff.
Okay, I see.
Plus, geopolitical stuff and trade tensions make international investments a little riskier.
So it's a bunch of global factors that are causing this caution.
Yeah, so investors should be more picky and focus on areas that are, stronger and less risky.
It's amazing how these big trends impact certain industries.
Totally. And it shows how important it is to stay up to date on the big picture when you're investing.
All right, let's shift gears again and go back to the individual stories.
Okay, who are we talking about?
Weiss, we talked about his trading methods and his, bakery dreams, but I want to learn more about those Renko bars.
Good choice. They're a cool tool for analysis. Understanding them can be helpful even if you don't trade actively.
Yeah, I think it's good to understand different ways of looking at the markets.
Absolutely. So to recap, Renko bars ignore the small stuff. They focus on price moves of a certain size. They don't care about time, only when the price changes, a specific amount.
Okay, makes sense. How are they different from candlestick charts, though?
Candlesticks show price action over a certain time, like minutes, hours, days. Renko charts only care about the price change no matter how long it takes.
So they help traders spot trends that might be hidden on a regular chart.
Exactly. They show you the real momentum, which is useful for finding those support and resistance levels.
Support and resistance levels. Can you remind me what those are and how they relate to trading?
Of course. So support is a price where a stock tends to bounce back up. Resistance is where it gets, harder for the price to go higher.
So support is like a floor and resistance is a ceiling.
That's a good way to put it. Traders use these levels to, decide when to buy or sell.
I see. So using Renko charts helps Weiss see these levels more clearly.
Right. It helps him focus on the important moves, which goes back to his, discipline and strategy.
It's fascinating how there are so many different tools for analyzing the markets.
It is. And it shows that you need to find an approach that works for you. Like Weiss says, find what works best for, your personality and style.
Great advice. And it's also cool that Weiss is using his success to pursue baking.
It really shows that you can achieve your dreams. Financial success can be a way to, live a better life.
Totally. It's not just about, money, but about doing something meaningful.
Exactly. And it shows that success can be, different things for different people. It's not always money, but also fulfillment and making a difference.
That's a great message. And it brings us back to what we're talking about today. We've looked at market trends, technology, individual stories, and they're all, connected.
It's been a real deep dive, wouldn't you say?
It has. Makes me wonder what other new trends are out there that could, change things up. What are your thoughts?
That's a good question. So much is happening in tech and finance. It's a crazy time for innovation.
Hmm.
One trend that I think is interesting is decentralized finance. DeFi, they call it.
Oh, DeFi. I've heard that, but I don't really know what it is.
It's really cool. It could totally change how we think about financial services. Basically, he wants to make finance more, open, transparent, and accessible using blockchain technology.
Okay, so it's built on the same tech as Bitcoin.
Yep. Blockchain lets you record and verify transactions securely without needing, banks.
So what can you actually do with it?
Well, you can lend and borrow money directly from other people.
Yeah.
No bank needed. You can trade crypto on these decentralized exchanges. There are even platforms for investing in real-world stuff like real estate, all using blockchain.
Wow. That's a lot of possibilities. It sounds like DeFi wants to, give people more control over their money.
That's the idea, empowering individuals and making things more fair.
Definitely something to keep an eye on.
It is. And it goes back to Weiss's story,
Yeah.
about continuous learning.
Yeah. Things are changing so fast, we all need to be lifelong learners, always curious and ready to explore new things.
For sure. And that brings us to you, the listener. We've covered a lot today. Meta, the markets, Weiss's journey. Now, we want to hear from you.
What stood out to you? What are you still wondering about? What new trends, excite you? Share your thoughts, your aha moments, even your disagreements. This is just start a conversation.
Let's keep it going. We want to hear your perspectives and keep exploring these topics together.
It really is amazing to think about all this new technology and how it could, change the world.
Yeah, so many possibilities.
Looking back at everything, Meta and the metaverse, Aaron Brown's market outlook, and Weiss's, incredible journey as a trader, I see something that connects them all.
What is that?
I think all these stories, they all show that it's important to combine, new technology with a clear vision and then being disciplined to make it happen.
That's a great point. You see, Meta is betting on AI and VR, but they also have a strategy, and they're willing to, put in the time and money.
Right. And Erin Brown, when she talked about the market, she said it's important to find sectors that are, not just trendy, but also have strong fundamentals and a plan to deal with any risks.
Exactly. It's not enough to just follow the latest trends. You need to really understand the technology, have a clear vision for what you want to do with it, and then have the discipline to actually do it.
And Weiss's story is like the perfect example. He didn't just get lucky, right? He
Hmm.
put in the work, developed a strategy, tested it like crazy before risking any real money.
He shows that you need both the skills and the discipline to succeed.
Absolutely. And then him using his profits to follow his passion for baking, that's just inspiring. It proves that, money can be a tool to help you live a more meaningful life.
Yeah, it's not just about wealth. It's about using that wealth to do something something you really care about.
So true. As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to ask you, the listener, a question. What new technology are you most excited about, and how could you use Weiss's approach to achieve your goals?
Think about all that testing, the focus, the constant learning. How could you apply that to your own life?
Remember, knowledge is powerful, but only if you understand it and actually use it. So keep learning, keep experimenting, and who knows, maybe you'll be the next Weiss, tuning your passion into reality.
We'd love to hear your thoughts about today's discussion. What did you find interesting? What questions do you have? Share your insights, your aha moments. Even if you disagree with something, this is just the start of the conversation.
Let's keep talking. We're excited to hear your views and keep exploring these topics with you. Until next time, happy exploring.